Welcome. We are here with Peplowski and Eric Olmscheid for the 26-27 Broadway series announcement. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having us. We're
Thank you.
thrilled to share 8 amazing shows with the community that's part of 2627.
Do you want us a little synopsis of each one?
Sure.
Love to.
We'd love to
We'd love
share.
to tell you about the great things coming.
So first, we have 6 shows that are part of our Broadway series package, and those 6 shows represent iconic shows coming directly from Broadway, as well as a few that are returning to our stage. But there's 6 that are part of our 2627 package, which will start in October with The Notebook. The Notebook, everyone knows from the film and the book adaptations of this great musical.
Right. Those, and you've either read the book or seen the movie or both multiple times, and they're very emotional. Bring your tissues. Even more so, I think, for the stage version of that, because when you add on some of this music that is so beautiful, the score is beautiful by Ingrid Michaelson.
Yes, she does an amazing job of capturing this in kind of a musical theater way, but it's also kind of her like signature kind of more independent or indie vibe, which I think is really, really beautiful. And of course, the iconic scene from the film that most people want to know: is there going to be rain? There will be rain on stage.
Wow.
There will. And also another interesting thing about this show is Allie and Noah are played by 3 different actors to capture the different age ranges. So the younger, the middle, the older, and that's spectacular in and of
That's pretty
itself.
fascinating.
Yeah.
I never thought about that.
Yeah, so it's October. We'll kick off our season with The Notebook. And then in January, we will have Alicia Keys' Hell's Kitchen, which is a great new musical using Alicia Keys' music that a lot of people know and love already. And then she added a few songs to it for an original new work that is loosely based on her life, but it's not a biomusical about her. It's about a young artist named Allie.
And of course, the songs that you love, Empire State of Mind, This Girl is on Fire, those songs become real and real life when you see them in the context of this beautiful piece.
And the center of it is this mother-daughter relationship. So it's really about this family dynamic and this powerful dynamic between them.
And I think that's something that GLAM will really be interested in, because teenagers, not always the easiest, and navigating those teenage years and being a single parent at the same time.
You're gonna give us your best.
This girl is on fire.
All right, and then moving on, we will not be on stage.
No.
Moving on, we will have Boop the musical. This is Betty Boop come to life in color. So Betty Boop is of course, iconic animation that most people think of black and white. She hops off of the black and white animation into living color on stage. It's really a wonderful old school song and dance musical comedy.
Very vibrant colors. We go from black and white to color right on the stage. And this is something for the whole family. So it's something that everybody would enjoy.
And then one of my personal favorites, because it was one of the very first shows I saw back in high school, which is Disney's The Lion King. Coming back for 3 weeks. Talk about additional family entertainment. Great for all ages. We also know this is a great tool or a great show to introduce young people to Broadway or theater for the first time. So be here for 3 weeks, all 200 puppets of that big spectacle of a show that brings The Lion King to life.
And everybody has a story behind Lion King. People that have gone to the theater, you have your own story, but a lot of times people want to, maybe they experienced when they were a kid, they want to bring back their kids, or their grandkids now. And it's really lovely to see those people being introduced to theater.
It's really considered the world's #1 musical, and it's for a reason that it's still running on Broadway today, as well as the national tour. So thrilled to have it back here for 3 weeks. Yes, coming back for 3 weeks in April. And then fast forwarding to next summer, we have The Outsiders, which is a great adaptation of S.E. Hinton's novel, also film, adapted to a really great spectacle of a show on stage.
Yeah, and the Rumble in the Rain is, another rain scene in a soaking wet Wharton Center stage, but it's amazing.
Choreography is unbelievable. And yes, that is rain twice in this season. It's been many years since we have rain on stage.
That's 3 times, right?
Well, we haven't gotten to the third one yet. And then of the last of the 6 shows in our Broadway series package is The Phantom of the Opera. Tara and I just had an opportunity to see this recently because it's a brand new tour, a brand new production. They went back to the original design elements and basically rebuilt the show and the original design elements, but for 2026, and it's spectacular.
The sets are amazing. It'll blow you away.
It's grand, it's big, it's all of the things that you want, and frankly, the very first chord when you hear the orchestra come in, I had goosebumps all the way up and down my spine. So it's
And I have to say, this is the best Phantom that I have ever seen. What they have done now, true to the original, and like you said, it's just fantastic staging.
really great production. So all 6 of those are in our package, and believe it or not, you can get all 6 of those for starting at just $245, which is really amazing. And of course, that goes up a little bit from there depending on your night of week and your seating location. But you can get all 6 shows at Wharton Center for $245.
And you get first access before they go on sale to the public, interest-free payments as well.
Yeah.
So
Great
some of the
gifts.
benefits of being a subscriber.
Perfect.
Yeah, it's a lot of great stuff that we're doing.
But wait,
There's more.
there's more. There's
It gets
more.
better.
So we have the 6 in the package, like we said, but we also have 2 additional add-ons that are shows that are coming back to us a little bit earlier because they've been here in the last handful of years. And in September, we'll launch our entire season with Beetlejuice, the musical. Beetlejuice was here a couple years ago. Audiences loved it, but since it was here, it went back to Broadway for a short stint, and now it's going back out on the road, and we're having it back again for 5 shows in September. And then in December, it will rain again.
It will rain.
Maybe a different spelling, but
Exactly.
the Queens of 6 will reign again when 6 the musical comes back, which is of course the 6 Wives of Henry VIII in this amazing concert-like production.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Only 80 minutes. It'll be in December. It's a great time to get together and do something with the family.
Yeah. So those are the 8 shows as part of our 26-27 season.
I'm super excited. Can't come soon enough.
Okay, this season feels like a huge moment for Wharton Center.
Yeah.
Right. So when you look at the lineup as a whole, what story does it tell about Broadway and where the Greater Lansing community is right now with the arts?
Well, so when we're curating the season, we're trying to find a little bit of old and new, and not like a wedding in Borrowed and Blue, not quite Borrowed and Blue, but like some old and new, but this mixture of things that are coming back and straight off of Broadway. And so for us, it's finding the things that resonate with our community. There are a lot of shows out there. There are some that we choose and fight for to bring here because we think it's the right fit for our community. And this season represents that. I'm proud of every one of these for those reasons. And there's other shows that we may not prioritize for our community for a variety of reasons. But I think the support that the Lansing region has as one of the smaller markets in the country for touring Broadway, population-wise that is really important because we're able to bring these first national high-quality tours. The same ones that are playing much bigger cities are coming right here because of the support of our community.
What excites you the most about first-time Broadway attendees this season?
So there's a lot of shows in the season that I think are great entrees for first-time attendees. Right? For young people, maybe it's The Lion King or a family show like Boop. For other people, it might be an iconic show like Phantom of the Opera that might bring them in like if they're a casual goer. But every one of these shows is a great introduction to Broadway and to the theater. And I fundamentally believe that every time we gather in the theater as an audience, there is someone in that theater who's having a transformational, life-changing moment. We oftentimes don't know who it is or how it impacts them, but I believe that every time we gather, someone is having that experience. And that's what excites me every time we get to share stories like this from Broadway.
And sometimes we get to hear those later.
Sometimes.
Sometimes we do in our surveys and whatnot. But as Eric said, I think every single show on this season is accessible for a first-time theater goer. That they will find exciting and amazing and want to come back.
So true. So when you're creating a season, do you think about the different ways people attend, such as a family night, girls' night, date night? Do you think about that and the order that they're coming to?
Well, I don't necessarily, not necessarily in the order that they're coming because, as Eric mentioned, sometimes that's scheduling and routing and things like that. But absolutely, we think, kind of in the marketing realm and the groups, like how are people going to want to see this? Is this, the Lion King where we said previously, maybe you're bringing in the next generation that you want to share with. Maybe it's the Notebook and it's a date night and that romance piece of it, or it's a girls night out and you want six and you want to see the queens and you want to celebrate. So you do think about those things and how those things kind of piece together.
Absolutely. And one of the things that we're very thoughtful of the order and the number of the shows that are in the 6-show package are really intentionally curated to be a season. So you might think about what is something more lighthearted, what is something a little bit more serious, what is something that's more of a spectacle or a kind of a showstopper or a blockbuster. So we're trying to find the balance of all of those within that 6-show package, because the core audience for that are people who are buying all 6 shows as part of the season ticket package. So it's definitely part of the programmatic decision making when we're thinking about that from the beginning. And while we're announcing 26, 27 today, we're already knee deep talking about 27, 28 and thinking about what does that look like and what does 28, 29 look like and what is the pipeline, what's happening on Broadway and how does that relate to what's happening in our community. So we kind of have our feet in 3 years at any one given time.
And our community is always telling us what they want to see and.
Yes.
Do you have a favorite? Can you pick just one?
Oh, I don't know. What about you?
I can't.
I don't know if I can pick one. Here's what I'm going to say. One that I am really looking forward to seeing is The Notebook. Have not seen that, but all the rest of them I have seen, and I'm looking forward to every single one of them because I want to bring people. That you see these shows and you want to come back to them. You see it, you have someone in mind. So and so would really love this, and you want to share those with other people.
Yeah, and I think for me, I want to echo that because if I didn't work here, if I didn't like curate this season, I think I would still be really excited about this set of offerings because there is a bit of something, and it's this like great modulation between show to show in the season. Favorite is hard, but I will call out The Lion King, partially because it's one of my personal favorites. Back in high school, I saw the pre-Broadway production of The Lion King, and I just remember sitting on the aisle, and when Birth of the Elephant comes through the aisle during the Circle of Life procession, I had no idea what was going to happen. I just remember looking over my shoulder, and there was this life-size elephant right here, and that was profoundly moving for me. And so that's a really first circle moment for me.
And you guys took out an aisle, the middle. Will that be happening?
We will. We will.
I don't know if that's a secret.
It was at last time they were here, we pulled out all the seats after they left and replaced all the seats, but also it was planned to leave that removable sections of seats so that we could have Lion King again.
Yeah, we will have the aisle processional. Absolutely.
Core memory.
Yeah.
Back to like a little bit of a Michigan nod. Some of these shows this is the first showing in Michigan. What does that say? How's it special for Wharton sometimes to be the very first place they stop in Michigan?
Whenever we can have a Michigan premiere or in the first year of its tour here in Michigan, it's really special because it just underscores for us kind of our position in the whole national tour landscape. There are multiple venues, of course, in Michigan that do Broadway, and we're fortunate because we have great relationships with all of them, and we all live in this ecosystem together. So we try not to be adversarial about it at all, but I think it's really important, and we continue to always be able to bring kind of some of the best shows that are touring right now here in the first year, which just goes back to what I was saying earlier about the community support is why we're able to do that.
And will you be going to the schools like you have been in the past?
Absolutely. We always look for those opportunities to do that.
And the theater kids, like kids that haven't been to the theater before, like what is that like working with them?
Yeah, so just to articulate what we try to do with our education programs and to connect our touring shows as much as we can to our education department. So here at Wharton Center, we serve over 30,000 students and learners of all ages every year, from school matinee programs to master classes to our High School Musical Theater Awards program. So it's a big breadth of education programs that we do every year, especially for families. We have a number of them for family audiences. As it relates to Broadway, it's primarily in our high school programs and our High School Musical Theater Awards program. And whenever we're able to connect theater students, but it's really remarkable. Like the theater kind of maker to theater maker exchange is really powerful. What I find more powerful is when we get to work with groups of students who may not think of themselves as theater makers, or theater isn't their like passion or drive, but they get to discover a story or discover theater for the first time or discover something about themselves through a program that we do through our education initiatives around these tours. That is when I see the real power and impact of the arts.
So it's incredible. Lucky kids in this area. I always
Yeah.
say that because we can be like home in 15 minutes, and
You can.
It's like a pinch me moment.
It
really
is.
Every
We're
time.
blessed.
Yeah, it's
Every time we go home, it's like 10 o'clock.
right. And you get to sleep in your own
Sometimes later.
bed.
Sometimes later, but you know.
But even if
so-
it's 10:30 or even if it's 11 o'clock, you're sleeping in your bed. You saw a touring Broadway show. You didn't drive an hour and a half or 2 hours or fly to New York.
Right.
Yeah, it's pretty special.
And you parked right in our ramp and walked in and covered.
Easy.
And
So
We really are
easy.
spoiled.
Right.
We are
Right.
spoiled. You know.
Yeah.
Very fortunate.
Come into the garage. Very Midwestern. I mean, how
Yeah.
how else do you get into the theater? I'm just coming to the
Right.
garage.
That's how I tell you to get into my house.
Right.
Come through the
Just
garage.
come through the
Don't go to
garage.
the door. Come through the garage.
Yeah.
When you look into the audience around from your seat, what's the moment that reminds you that this work matters?
I love that moment. That is my absolute favorite moment, is when the opening number or the closing number, and we get to see what the audience reaction is when they're watching
Mhm.
what's on stage, and the laughter, the tears, the sharing the moment with whoever they brought with them.
And I would take that one
Really
step
special.
further. I think it's also sharing the moment with community that of strangers, where like you can be sitting next to somebody you don't know and sharing an armrest with them. You could have very different life views and experiences, but you're still finding the same level of curiosity or sparked joy or thoughtfulness from the show that you saw. There's very few things in the world, I think, where we really get to share space and community with one another that isn't based on something that we already agree on in advance. And so I find that really powerful, that we get to share community together, we get to share time and space together of all walks of life. And I can't think of many things that we do that.
That has happened
anymore.
to me this season at a show. And
Yeah.
you're so spot on. So
Yeah.
spot
And you may be getting to know your neighbor because you need another Kleenex when you're
Yes.
for the notebook.
Yes.
So just don't use their sleeve.
on. Well, is there anything else that we need to know? It's an exciting day.
I mean, it's an exciting day. I mean, I know most of your viewers are more family focused, and we just have a ton of family product this year. We're really excited about Boop is family friendly, Lion King is family friendly, Phantom of the Opera, even Hell's Kitchen being that mother daughter, more of a teenage story, but mother daughter story, and the young people love Beetlejuice as well. So
As a huge following.
there's just so many shows that connect with families or audiences that may be non-traditional or a little younger this year, and I'm really happy about it.
Incredible gifts,
Thank you.
opportunities instead of a gift. Thank you so much.
Yes,
You're very
thank you.
welcome.
This is great.
Thank you.
Can't wait.
All of the details, of course, are at whartonseason.com. So
So
tickets,
you'll have
pricing,
all the
details,
links.
all that is
Okay.
at whartonseason.com.
Yep. And those subscriber benefits are big
Okay.
too.
Put it all online.